Hi, fancy seeing you here. Okay, sorry. I suck at intros. Okay, we're going to take it from the top. Gage is going to leave this in, but we're going to take it from the top. Hi, welcome. This is Everything But the Cats. We are a podcasts, if you will. And we are on a mission, a goal. We're on a goal, a journey, if you will. And the purpose of our journey is that we are going to talk about every single thing. Think of us like probably the wisest people on earth, maybe most knowledgeable. I don't know, something like that. But we're absolute buffoons when it comes to one topic, which is how to file our taxes. We are in deep trouble with the IRS, so please don't tell them we said that. Just kidding. Anyways, we're Everything But the Cats. I'm DJ.
And I'm Gage.
And yeah, we're happy to host you guys. We've done this over 100 episodes. Most podcasts make it to 13. That's like where most of them drop off. We've done over 100, and I still suck at introducing us. But this is us. Like, if you don't like this, log off now, because this is what you're getting for the next 4 hours.
If
So
you don't like me
up.
at my intro, then you don't deserve me at the body.
You don't deserve my body. No, if you don't like me at my intro, you don't deserve me at me telling you to thank yourself. So that'll happen at the end if you make it that far. There's some people that maybe have listened to a few beginnings of our episodes and they're like, thank ourselves? What is he talking about? End of every episode, baby. All right. Anyways, Gage, what are we doing today?
So I have curated 11 Reddit posts. Technically 10 because one of them is a continuation of another one. But I have curated for us 10 Reddit posts that we are going to read, react to, and answer the questions that happen to be there. I don't necessarily have them in a specific order except for the last one. The last one that I have is where it is for a reason, but all the others are kind of just there. They're not from one specific Reddit subreddit. They're from a few different ones, and I'll address which one they're from, and I'll probably say who the poster was if it's not swallowed by a black hole or whatever it says in Reddit.
Deleted.
Yeah, this user has been deleted or whatever. Before we do dive into these questions and these posts, how familiar are you with the world of Reddit?
I've used it for a while, probably like 10 years now. I think nowadays it's a lot harder to not be on Reddit just because anytime you Google something, like the top most helpful result is going to be something on Reddit. So honestly, I delete it. Like I've deleted multiple Reddit accounts because it's like such a distraction at points. But then like you're doing something like for work, I'm looking up a genuine question for work. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. I've been here much longer than I meant to be here. What the heck? So it'll trap you. So familiar, and it's among the social media that I have, and if I'm not careful, I can spend too much of my life there. Facebook is the other one that I like. I have to get rid of it from time to time because it'll draw me in. It's easier. I feel like the Facebook algorithm, this is taken away from Reddit. The Facebook algorithm has gotten more political, at least for me. My algorithm has gotten more political, and so I feel like every other post is like differing political views. Sometimes I'm like, is Facebook trying to like get me to think a certain? I don't know. But anyways, it's political enough that I'm like, it's gross. I don't want to be here. So it's a lot easier to just be off Facebook. So Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening to this episode, I know you are. Just make the algorithm less political. You're perpetuating a lot of things, but you're perpetuating me not wanting to be on your platform. Fix my algorithm is my request. But also like social media erodes the concept of objective truth when people can be shown like specifically one side of a story their whole life and then like be flabbergasted that people could possibly believe something different because those other people have been shown something different and not shown the other thing. Anyways, that's my familiarity with Reddit, is that the world is going to hell in a handbasket and it's Facebook's fault.
So, two things on that, actually, before I get into Reddit. One, I don't know how closely you might have seen this. Christopher Haylett, who we did an episode with not long ago, the Nerdy Christian, he actually posted like a couple of posts about this, but it came out like Facebook admitted that they boosted posts with angry reactions 5 times more than posts with positive reactions.
I believe it.
So, like, the weight of things that are divisive or that are controversial in Facebook, and therefore Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram and some other things, I think they own TikTok now. I don't know. Threads, is that it pushes forward stuff that is going to be divisive to the person who's reading. Like, that's what the algorithm is for, which explains why whenever I get on Threads, it's just people saying uncomfortable truth and then stating an opinion that's horribly backed up.
Man,
it's so funny.
Explains why when I get on Threads, it's just people sharing their hair care routines.
That would have been better. But the other thing that I had to say about that is I was actually listening to our friends Rhett and Ian, their Long Distance Kicks podcast, and they were talking about New Year's resolutions for both football and for themselves. And one of the things that Rhett said was that he wants to spend less time on the internet, period, because he finds that when he is actively involved in loving people in his community, people are much more enjoyable than they are when he spends all of his time on social media. And even so, this is going to hurt us as a podcast. But dear listener, spend less time on social media than you do actually loving the people around you. It'll do you good.
I remember being in high school and even college, and like the idea of like being off of Facebook was ridiculous. And like I would guess that I've probably spent how many? I need to Google some math real quick. Give me just a moment. There's a non-zero chance that I've spent at least 10,000 hours on Facebook in my life, which is it's 416 days. Like if I actually had to think about it, because like in high school, I would get home from school and then just like sit in front of my computer like all day, except when I was like had sports or whatever. But like. Yeah, so probably like 10,000 hours. And so it was like unthinkable that I could ever get off of it. And then one day I processed like there was like one specific person that I worked with at Chick-fil-A who was like, now it's kind of like the norm for what you see on Facebook, but he was just starting to get into like combining his conservative politics with like just like little bits of racism and like combining like a bit of Christian nationalism with racism. And I was like, okay, like I can't stand to be around this guy. I love him. Like I can't stand to read what he's comfortable posting. I love him as a person. I'm not going to unfriend him. And rather than unfollow him, I'm just going to like get off of Facebook. And it was good. Life is good. Life is better when you're off Facebook. It's also like, I can acknowledge that it's a privileged stance too. Like life can be good for me when I'm like off of social media where people are getting their information about like what things are happening in the world around them, because I can be cut off from information about the world around me and like my life will continue on exactly as it is. And that isn't always the case with everyone. So I can acknowledge that, but my blood pressure is probably lower when I'm off of Facebook.
I think that like social media has a lot of good that it can do.
Sure.
But I also think that like you are not missing. I think you're not missing out on anything in social media that you would get by just being deeply involved and rooted in the community in which you live. Like if you're involved and rooted in the community that you live in, you're going to know what changes are affecting the people around you, what things you need to be like standing up against or what things you need to be supporting, because they're the things that actually affect the area you're in and you can actually do something about, as opposed to just like posting about it, And in the grand scheme of things, just posting about stuff does almost nothing. I mean, look at Coney 2012. That was one of the most viral things in the world. He's still out there. Like, just posting about stuff does nothing.
My boy Coney, still free. Let's go. Just kidding. Free Coney!
So it's one of those things that I'm like, if you're just deeply rooted in the community in which you live, I think you can make a much better impact than you can by being on social
for sure.
media and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's
If
one of those like things that I just get upset about.
one day my comedy skit Facebook page will take off and we'll delete this video. But until then, stay off Facebook. Your life will be better.
Yeah, not even just Facebook. Like, unless it's specifically our content, stay off social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it.
You can check out like Christopher Haylett and stuff, the Nerdy Christian, but otherwise, us two, that's it.
I feel like the only one that ever, I mean, YouTube as well. Like YouTube isn't really social media.
But it is.
Yeah, like it's less social.
Yeah.
Like it's media made by people. So it's like it's social media in that way. But it's less like, and like there are comments and stuff. But it's just inherently less social. Like I feel like Facebook is like a neighborhood where you are, and then YouTube is like a movie theater. So like if you're looking at analytics on Facebook versus YouTube, in Facebook, an average video view time might be like 6 seconds. And that's because on Facebook, like the idea is like I'm here in this place, and like we're gonna see who, like what happens to come by, and whatever happens to come by, like I guess I'll stick around. Like I'm deciding really quickly if I'm gonna stick around or not. And then YouTube is like I'm gonna decide what to watch, and so the view time is it's usually a couple minutes because someone like they've decided to watch it, and it's different than just like this thing showed up in my neighborhood, so I decided to give it 3 seconds to get my time. Anyways, YouTube is less social, but it gets its hooks in me. Other like YouTube, Reddit, Facebook are like the only ones, and like anything else just doesn't do it for me. So I've always like never been big into Instagram. Yeah, I used Snapchat when Angela and I like weren't married, but then we lived in a house together, and I didn't need to like send her selfies and like receive selfies to feel loved. So like Snapchat, I don't use that anymore.
Yeah, pulling up my YouTube, like I'm a sucker for YouTube. Like I'll just listen to video essays all day, pretty much, and it'll be stuff that's like the world of Dexter without Dexter is genuinely terrifying. Like how the Bone Temple has drastically changed the Rage virus. And it's just like these people like doing these deep dives on these topics that are so inconsequential to life whatsoever. But I eat that up. Anyways, I haven't interacted a ton with Reddit. But when we started the podcast, I made a few posts in like the podcast guest exchange pages to try to see if we could get some people on, or I could get onto some other podcasts to try to get our name out there a little bit. And I ended up getting onto a couple different podcasts, and we had a couple of those people on ours, and they're on YouTube now, by the way. Mike and Brittany at the Oh Crap podcast.
Nice. That's awesome.
So they're fun people. I fully intend to have them on for a role-playing game we're going to do at some point, and we should discuss at some point how we're going to do that. But other than that, like Reddit is not really my thing. It hasn't really. I have found it very useful recently in terms of like learning things about computers, because I was never big into computers, but now I have a nice PC. I have for a little over about 2 years now. But I mean, like learning how to use it and take care of it, figuring out stuff as far as equipment for filming goes, because of a little project I'm working on, things along those lines. So it's been a good tool for me recently, but it was never something I would just spend a ton of time on. We had a friend in college who used it a lot. He is a very good friend of the podcast, and I would occasionally walk into his room and he'd be like, want to see what the 50-50 of the day? But yeah, so I'm not too familiar with Reddit, but I'm getting more familiar. And so I've saved several, like I said, 10 posts from, I think 5 or 6 different subreddits that we're going to be looking at. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive on in.
Great.
Our first post is from 10 days ago on Ask Reddit. And it is by I Can't Come Up W1. I'm probably not going to read all their names. I apologize.
Sure.
But this first post is, what's the guy equivalent to girls asking their boyfriends whether they would still love them if they were a worm?
Hmm.
And so I wanted, before we look at some of the comments, I want us to answer this.
Would you rather wake up next to me or a bear?
Okay.
How often do you think I think about the Roman Empire?
Something, something, something. This would be a nice place to bleed out. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, would you like me as a worm?
If I turned into a zombie, would you kill me?
That's pretty good. And the answer is no. As a zombie, I would easily overpower Angela. Like, she does not stand a chance.
See, because here's the thing about zombies, they don't have inhibitors like we do, like in their brain. Because, like, we inhibit ourselves from using our full strength. Zombies don't have that.
You know my buddy Derek Smith. Yeah. Cool guy. Love Derek. One time, I can't remember what the deal was. We were drive-through only at Chick-fil-A, but he and I were inside for something. And he said something, did something, I don't know what it was. And I just picked him up. And he's a scrawny man, and I'm a big man. So I just picked him up, and he was flabbergasted at, like, I'm shocked at, like, how easily you picked me up. Like that's crazy. And, like, yeah, Derek, the only reason that your feet are ever on the ground is because I have decided not to pick you up in that moment. Because I have willed that your feet are allowed to be on the ground. And it's the same with Angela. Like, the only reason that she's sitting down in the other room, she's probably knitting while watching Survivor, is because I haven't gone in there and, like, chosen to pick her up. Because I could. So, if I were a zombie, is game over, for sure.
What's that Jordan Peterson thing before he got really alt-right? He was like, there's no virtue in being harmless, but in being able to cause harm and refusing to, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
choosing not to.
It's like peacefulness or gentleness or meekness or something like that is like that. Yeah, something along those lines.
It's not like being it's not being unable to cause harm or to do damage.
Yeah.
It's being able to and refusing to. Anyways, so those are some of ours. Let's see what Reddit had to say. The top comment, do you think I'd win in a fight against, in parentheses, something irrational? But yeah, like, I've seen people do this with, like, Pokemon. Like, do you think I could take this Pokemon in a fight? Or do you think
I take Pikachu?
Do you think I could fight a bear?
Man, if I said, could I take Pikachu, my wife would be like, you look at me all the time. Like, what are you?
Let's see some of the other Reddit ones. Do you think I'm a good singer? And then, do you think I could be a good singer if I was a girl?
Interesting. So, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just today, I don't know if you've watched the Lemony Snicket series on Netflix, but the intro music, there's an intro song that is essentially like, look away, like, this is too sad or whatever, don't watch this. And I started singing it just a little bit after I pulled up Netflix because we were watching Man on the Inside, and she was like, was that you? Like, it sounded so much like the show. And I sat on that compliment for a while. Like, I was like, that's a really good compliment. Like, I love that one. So I get that one. But as to whether or not I sing well, I know I don't. And I wouldn't expect her to lie.
Would you still love me if aliens abducted me, turned me into one of them, and then dumped me back on your porch?
That's very in line with the original.
But yeah, it is. It's the same thing. Someone got really deep and philosophical on this one about Kafka's Metamorphosis. What do you think of this cool stick I found? Okay, so those are some of the comments there, some of the things we came up with. One of my favorites that I did see as I was scrolling through these was, if I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman?
That's funny. No, I think that our marriage has been through enough that the only thing I don't know if Angela could love me through is if I turned into a worm. Like, we've been through enough, like, tests of, like, will our love handle this thing or that thing or whatever. That the only thing I don't know is if I was just a little dude. And, like, even then, if she knew it was me, I trust that, like, we'd be buds.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is from one that you see all the time on YouTube and in podcasts.
Am I the booty hole?
Yep.
Yes, Gage. You can bleep that if you want to.
I don't know how I'm going to handle it yet. AITA for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me.
I love this already.
I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not real formal. He's a really friendly guy. And Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about about little things, like literally blowing up about nothing.
I'm so sorry. Angela loves these posts. Is there any way we could restart and I could bring Angela in for this one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask her if she'd be interested.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll be right back.
I'd love to get both of your reactions. Okay. How are you, Angela?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good.
Normally when I see you, it's like to pull Isaiah away from looking at you. So it's nice to
say hi.
Like see you for myself.
Yeah, it's fun to have you back on. But yeah, so we're doing some Reddit posts, and right now I've got an AITA. Yeah, am I the butt? I'm just going to say, am I the butt or a jerk? I don't know. Am I the jerk? What?
You don't like my wording?
Not really. I don't want to say that. Over and over again, at least.
No.
But this one is, am I the jerk for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? I always love the questions, like the opening questions, because there's so much. They either spark intrigue or immediate doubt.
Yes.
This one, just a little intrigue, right? I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school, is a shift manager, but it's not really formal. He is a friendly guy. And Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff, like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad do you have to be a grown man taking your anger out on a high school and college age kid? So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was just like, "OP, this is unacceptable. You're fired." I started acting really sad, like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." And he played up being like, angry about it, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack. Like, "It isn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it." And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all this drama, I did still have my job. We were just acting. And we've done it a couple of times, whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I.
This feels like when Sir Ian McKellen explains to, I think it's Ricky Gervais, like someone asks him like, "So like how do you prepare yourself like to play Gandalf or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, it's called acting." And like so the thing is, I'm not actually a wizard, but I pretend to be a wizard through this process called acting. And so just the way it's like the way that they frame it, like
acting.
Like, yeah, I wasn't actually fired. I was pretending. Like, yeah, bud, gotcha.
It's like that John Mulaney joke. And I said no, like a liar. But yeah, we've done it a couple of times whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I. James will storm in and fire us, and almost every time the person who came in angry will apologize and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying making people realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needs the money fired. Am I the jerk for this joke?
When I was at Chick-fil-A, there was a time where it was drive-through only because of COVID. This guy comes through and he asks to see the menu. And I had like a little portable menu, but the rule at that time was like, don't touch it. You're not allowed to like customers can't touch it. So
Because COVID.
Because
He's
COVID.
clearly touching the menu.
It was still early in COVID.
We didn't know things.
We're figuring stuff out. And so this guy like asks to see the menu. I'm like, yeah, I can hold it for you. And he's like, they already proved that blah, 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 blah. And I said, sir, sorry, this isn't COVID. Like this is about you in particular. And then like he didn't laugh or anything and like just did his order. And that was that. And anytime I told that story to people above me, they just laughed. So I never got in trouble for
That's
that.
really funny.
Thing. And that's not completely unrelated. It's a little unrelated. No, I think that like anyone, well, two things. One, I think that them backtracking and like being like, you know what, I'm so sorry, shows a lot more empathy than I expect the people that are jerks to like entry-level employees to have. So it's interesting that there is a hidden pool of empathy in there somewhere. But then, yeah, not a mean thing at all. Sorry, I'm trying to watch my words. Heck, those guys, they did it. Like they brought it on themselves. If they like, why should they have the freedom to walk in and berate someone and not feel bad about it? Like, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of times the people that are jerks to like entry level people like do feel bad about it later. I've gotten not escalated, like I've never yelled at someone, right? But like I've like been short like twice before with like customer service or whatever, and I actually don't ever feel bad about it because I get what I wanted out of the ordeal. So maybe not. Maybe it is good that they do the work to humble them.
Yeah, it's tricky because it's lying and stuff. But have we all worked customer service?
Yeah, Gage was in a coffee shop.
Okay, so we all know just how
actively
satisfying
in a
this would
gym.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I worked at a bank, and like bank customers are like it's their money.
They're the worst.
So it's like when they freak out on you, they really freak out on you. Like it's been how many years since I worked at a bank, and like there's a customer who was like really mean. I think only one time, but I've seen him at Walmart a few times, and I like still like feel anxious when I see him. Like he can't yell at me here. Like I don't work here. There's really nothing, but like I still like tense up when I see this guy. So even though I'm like, no, lying is bad. I love them for doing this.
Yeah, lying is bad, but screw that guy. Like
I think that like it's complicated because I think that it can be like wrong, but also fun. Like I don't think I would ever say this is the right thing to do, you know. But I also don't think I would say that like you're a bad person for doing it. It's like you know.
I don't think it's the wrong thing to do.
No, I think it's like I tell people all the time that our tanning beds are broken. I mean, I'm like, yeah, you're the one who broke it. Like, come on. Yeah, it's just the whole lying thing is the detail that makes like saying
the lying and
I needed this money for my family.
Oh,
like
no, but like
is like where it becomes morally ambiguous.
Like making them feel guilty that they just like actually lost someone's job and now they're gonna like think about that. If hopefully they're a good enough person to think about that for a few days or something.
I'm sure they come back and they're like, wait a second. Like
you're
love
still
that.
here.
Yes. Well, and they came back. Like, I'm kind of surprised that they came back too.
I think that like I don't know, the thought I had is gone. But I think that I'm all for it. And I do try to avoid like moral whataboutism where it's like, well, that was wrong. Like what I did was wrong, but like they did something worse, so like then it's fine. But like obviously when a child needs to be taught a lesson, you teach a child a lesson. And these are children that need to be taught a lesson, and I'm glad someone is. Also, if you're worried about lying, have someone actually fire him for like a moment. Like, hey, I'm going to fire you. And then like, oh man, I changed my mind. Like, you did it. Good job, bud.
Or just like, I mean, technically, if someone in management says you're fired, like there's no paperwork that has to be filled out. You're fired.
Exactly. Like there are ways to...
Oh, you're rehired. Yeah.
Right. Like we didn't get to the paperwork. I'd changed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are crazy to me. Anyways,
When I was working for a bank, I was just call center for a bank, but similar, like people got angrier. It was very, very often that people would be like, I've got like $2 million, and this kind of thing would make me consider switching banks. Like I might just close my accounts. And my response was always, sure, I can get that started for you, sir. Go ahead and let me know. We'll get it closed for you today.
mm-hmm.
Like I had no loyalty to the Ally Bank whatsoever.
Because you weren't even employed by Ally.
I wasn't employed by Ally.
You were employed by
Alorica. Yeah. And I mean, they didn't pay me well enough to be loyal. Like, yeah. So that was my favorite. It's like, I'd be willing to close my account about that. Like, I would love to help you. Like, I don't want to talk to you again. Let's close it. So,
yeah.
I was also like 22. I was a boy.
I have a tendency to lean toward people pleasing, and that is why the gym loves me.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely was just like, yeah, I will charge you $50 personally. Like, I don't have that authority, but I will charge you $50 personally at this point.
Yeah, it's easier to get into that, like, be a jerk back energy on the phone.
Yeah.
Like one time a guy
you're not standing in front of
was
you,
like,
and you don't see all their muscles from being a gym person.
Yeah. Like my guy. I don't know if my guy had been at the gym for 2 years because I couldn't see him. But like one time, a guy like had some insufficient funds fee, which is the dumbest fee that banks charge, in my opinion. I don't like the fee. Ally doesn't charge it anymore. I'm not. I haven't needed it, but like I'm grateful for that for people,
for their employees,
and for their employees. Yeah. But like some kind of fee this guy got charged, and so he's calling and he's just being a real chotch. And so the way that it works is you can ask managers to like get rid of fees, but it's like a thing you have to ask a manager to do. But he hasn't asked me to do it, and like he has not had the kind of attitude where I want to proactively do it. And I'm not saying AITA, yes, absolutely. But then he's like, and like even you, like this whole time, you haven't once offered to like try to waive the fee or check with your manager or anything. And then I said, sorry, I proactively offer when people are nicer to me. And then one day I quit showing up to that job. So that's probably for the best for everyone involved.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could have been like, there wasn't a question in there.
Yeah. But anyways, AITA, yes. Next question. Or how did people respond or whatever?
Yeah, the Reddit consensus was NTA, for sure. People were just like, no, people need to be taught a lesson, similar things to what, like you would say, it's the perfect way of dealing with hostile customers.
Anytime Isaiah throws a tantrum, I pretend to die. He's been learning about mortality.
It's like that time when we were like, I was like 7 or 8 and Brittany was 2 or 3, and I was like, you're going to die. And she threw a walkie-talkie at my face.
It's really funny.
Good times. This one is a little bit more contentious. AITA for making a dad joke. Preface.
Yes.
My stepdaughter, Madeline, was about a year old when I married her mother, Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born. Madeline is currently 15, and she's been rebelling in almost every way. She did something bad, so while picking her up, I set a punishment up for her, and then she said, "You're not my dad, I don't have to follow you." Honestly, I got a bit hurt from that, but I understand that she didn't mean it and that she'd probably change. I just replied, "I'm still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you're in my house, you have to follow my rules." That happened 2 days ago. So our family was going grocery shopping, and then Madeline said, "I'm hungry, I need food." I decided to be cheeky and say, "Hi, hungry, I'm not your dad." My son started laughing uncontrollably. My daughter was quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me not to stoop down to her level. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke, and my son agrees. So, AITA.
All right.
I did adopt her, so legally I am her parent. And there is an update, by the way. There is an update, but I want your knee-jerk reactions.
I feel like it's very common that I try to like get in barbs by like telling a little joke that I'm like, I hope the room thinks this is funny. And then like the vibe in the room immediately shifts and I'm like, oh no, they knew I was serious. I would guess that happens at least once every couple months that I'm like, this'll like get in my side and be funny and people will laugh, and then no laughter at all. I'm like, gosh darn it. So I get it, and I don't like if I were in that scenario, I don't know that it would be like I was just joking and like I thought it'd be funny. Ha ha ha.
Like, you know, the reason you told
Like-
that was to be like, yeah, remember when you said I'm not your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he the butt? I mean, yeah, like he's arguing back with a 15-year-old. So
And stooping to her level when he's the parent and the adult.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna say TA.
Yeah, but like also like I've had my feelings hurt by our 1-year-old. Like, so I get it. Like, kids really can hurt your feelings, and it's like it's not a weak thing to like have your feelings hurt by your kids. Yeah. So like I get it. But as the parent, it is your job to be better.
The adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the comments are pretty divided.
Really?
Essentially, what people landed on was everyone sucks,
Sure.
which I think is unfair to a degree.
Yeah.
To a degree, like a very small degree, because for all intents and purposes, that is her father.
Sure.
And like raised her from the time she was 1. Biologically, of course not. But like at that point, do you know like anything different? You know?
Yeah. I mean, she was obviously trying to hurt him. Like, it wasn't like...
She was, but she's 15.
Yes.
And like teenagers say and do all kinds of dumb things. Adults say and do dumb things. Kids say and do dumb things. Yada, yada, yada. So I don't necessarily know if I would go as far as to say everyone sucks here. I do think he was kind of a fool in the way that he handled it. I don't know. I think Reddit's really harsh with people sometimes. And sometimes it lets people get away with the weirdest stuff.
Yeah. I do... Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I do think, like, he didn't handle it as well as he could have. He could have handled it worse. Like, go tell your dad about it then. Go... The real guy? He sounds great. Let him know. Maybe he can fight me. Let's see who wins. Me or your real dad. How's that sound, sport?
Golly.
So, he could have handled it worse.
Fair. Holy cow. The top comment is everyone sucks, but that was one heck of a joke, and I congratulate you. A lot of people patting his back for the joke.
I mean, I appreciate the joke. I think the joke is funny, but it was not not the correct response to his 15-year-old.
Yes.
It'd be great in a sitcom, right? Real life is not a sitcom.
Yes.
You've got like YTA, but a small one, like stuff like that, is most of the comments. Update. It's just a brief update. Later that night, after dinner, I went to my daughter's room and started talking to her, explained that I was sorry that I hurt you by the words I said, and I am really your dad. I changed your diapers, I've met your boyfriend, I plan on helping you through college, and legally, like I've adopted you, I am your father. So we are stuck together. But seriously, I am going to love you like my daughter, even if you don't think I'm your dad. And then they hugged, she cried, he assumes they're all good. It's from 6 years ago, so no other updates.
Okay.
So yeah. I do think a lot of these posts end up being people, it's their perspective, right? And anytime you listen to the Smosh version of these, that's something that Shane brings up every single time. Is he's just like, well, this is his perspective on it, or her perspective on it. Like, we don't know the other side of the story. But I mean, like, that was seemingly a fine one, right?
Yeah. If it's like 15-year-old pushing boundaries, I feel like the daughter says, like, my dad won't let me smoke weed with strangers I met. I've never even seen their faces. It was dark. And he got mad at me, and I told him he's not my real dad. And then later he made a joke. So...
Yeah. I know people who would be that way. So that's the last, actually, AITA that I have, but I do have some more fun ones. This is another Ask Reddit from 5 years ago. What would you do if God came... Go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. Could you ask Angela the first one and we just get her, like, initial gut reaction?
Angela, what is the guy equivalent to girls asking their boyfriends whether they would still love them if they were a worm?
Okay. Who asked who what?
Okay, so it's common for girls to ask their guy, like, would you still love me if I was a worm? What's the guy equivalent of that? Like, asking a girl, like, that. What if I brought home this dog?
Yeah. That's actually really tricky, because it's either just the same worm, like, Or it's like it's not a thing. It's
Like-
like, would you still love me if I was insensitive? Or like, would you still love me if I was poor? And like,
That's one for sure.
instead of like, if my body was not this attractive female body and I was a worm, it's like if I didn't have loving qualities, would you still love me? I don't know.
Would you?
It'd be rough.
You went much
Joke.
deeper with it than either of us did.
Like, would you rather wake up next to me or a bear?
Is the thing.
Do you think I could win in a fight against a wolf?
Are your like alternatives?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are like the common things people have in the comments. Is like, do you think I'd win in a fight against insert animal here? Or if I was a zombie, would you kill me?
Do you think I could take a blue whale? It's flexed for the audio listeners.
With
For
enough
the
time.
video listeners.
With enough prep
My
time.
arm is kind of blocked. Yeah.
Enough prep time, and here's another condition. We're fighting on land.
I feel like they still have muscles and the ability to like roll around. So like if you just like are in the wrong spot one time.
Are you
That's
in
true.
like a closed arena, or is this just open land where you can run
I'm-
and then they can't move their body?
I'm
anymore?
right here, and the whale
And
is
then you
in.
can collect a weapon, and then you got it.
I'm right
See-
here, and the whale is in Tulsa.
You got it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like the thing is with questions like this is when like the way that you explained the would you still love me if I was a worm, when I hear that question, I don't interpret it as like
Deep.
deep. I don't. I interpret it as like a silly question. Not like if I didn't have this body, would you still love me or something like that. I don't interpret it that way. But that's like, I guess what is meant by the question. And I think that in here, it's like similar in that it's like, okay, so if a guy interprets that as just a silly question because they don't view it the same way, then what is a question that a guy definitely would ask that like a girl just kind of hears as like a silly question? And that's where a lot of the do you think I could take a wolf in a fight
Right.
Yeah.
comes from.
No,
Sweet.
So, yeah.
I've also never heard of the like, would you still love me if I was a worm specifically?
No way.
But
Really?
I can only assume that the reason that all of these females would be asking this is because like they're insecure and they're looking for affirmation.
I mean, I definitely got that question. I have been asked that question. I've also been asked the question, would you love me if I was only legs?
At some point the police would wonder like what I'm doing with you. Like do I keep you in a briefcase? At that point they definitely wonder like where's the rest of the body? Like
Oh, man.
Like there are logistical issues to this love, which is fine. There are lots of relationships where there are logistical issues, but like do the legs have reason? Like cuz if they like no. Like I don't need like legs. Like
Do they have like body heat though?
I assume they've got rigor mortis is all they've got.
Well, I was going to say, if there's no heart to like keep the blood pumping,
Yeah.
like,
it's just dead legs.
Like
I guess.
would you love the bottom half of my corpse?
Well, and see, that's the thing is when the question was asked, she wasn't thinking like that, you know,
Yeah.
but that's how we read the question, kind of like,
With the worm, yeah, it's totally logistics. Like, would you love me if you had to like hold me and make sure to not crush me all the time,
And we couldn't talk
and we couldn't talk?
or do any of
I
I would
Anything
build a
about our
terrarium.
relationship.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's next question.
Next question. This is another Ask Reddit. What would you do if God came down and said it's pronounced Jod and then left?
I would hail Jod. I would be a little curious. Like, I don't know enough about the etymology of the word God, but I know the name he gave us was not God, and not pronounced that way. And there is dispute, like Yahweh, Jehovah. I mean, it's not Jehovah, like guaranteed. I promise it's not. But
Yahweh, Yahweh.
yeah. Sorry, this is painful.
So one of these comments actually says he would also say, my name isn't God, and then he would pronounce his name and everyone's faces would melt.
It's not pronounced. Yeah,
Another one is, what if Jod was one of us?
that's funny. No, I would hail Jod, I guess.
Yeah, like if it's actually God saying it's pronounced Jod, I start saying Jod. That's that. But I think I do start having just like theological questions of like,
Was that the most important thing?
we know in scripture he's unchanging.
Yeah.
And he sent his son into the world to die for.
His son Jesus.
Like the people are really important to him, and saving people, that's important, and like being the just judge. We know that these things are important to God, so I'm just questioning now, why did he tell us that?
Yeah.
Like, why did we need to know?
Also, like,
what was I missing about the heart of God, and that this was an important thing for us to know?
I don't know how much experience the average Redditor has with, like, other languages, but, like, Jesus isn't called Jesus in all the languages. He's called, like, something that, like, Jesus. Isa. Whatever kind of makes sense within that language.
Joshua.
And so
they're all transliterations.
Yeah, they're all transliterations. And so like sorry, we're focused so much on the logistics of the question, like no, that's so dumb. Like obviously that wouldn't happen. If it did happen, there would be those theological questions of like, okay, but like, what do you want me to do with my life though?
Like, what do you want me to do with this information in general? Like,
pray better.
A couple
Stop
more comments that
guy.
I just need to point out real quick.
Yeah.
We'd be like, no way. And he'd be like, Yahweh.
That's cute.
Classic.
LOL, classic Jod. Yeah, that's it. That's the only ones. No, then all of Scandinavia would pronounce it Yod. Next one.
The Spanish-speaking world. Odd.
Hod. Also, I do think it's important, anybody who doesn't know, God is not a name, it is a title. Yeah. Next one, crappy advice. I am censoring. Ooh. This one's literal. I need to get a stool sample for a lab test, but I only poop first thing in the morning at work. How do I preserve the sample all day?
Stick it in the fridge. Done.
The work fridge?
They wanted crappy advice.
That's the most upvoted response.
Yeah, come on.
It's 2 words, work fridge.
That's funny. Yeah, like, how... I need to Google something.
If you did it at home, do you put it in the fridge? Like, is the fridge good for the sample?
I don't know. They just said they need to, so I assume that the lab test is after work, but the only time of day they can poop is like at the beginning of the day. Yeah. Just
Hold
based
it.
on that's bad for you.
Get over it. Like,
this one time. So yes, refrigerate. Refrigerate container with blue cap in this picture if transport to collection station is delayed more than 1 hour. Okay, alternative to the work fridge. There's plenty of, this is kind of an investment for this one-time stool sample, but like buy a cooler with some ice packs, buy like breastfeeding moms have to carry around like special stuff to keep milk cold if they're like pumping and stuff. Like there's the technology out there that this person needs. If they don't want to put it in the work fridge,
if they don't want to hold it for 8 hours,
if they don't want to hold it, if they don't want to put it in the work fridge, I don't want to put it in my own fridge.
I don't want to put it in the work fridge.
Especially work fridge.
Yeah, work fridge is actual bad advice.
Yeah.
So someone said similar to you, except a little more intense, DJ. They said alter your schedule about an hour before you need to drop off the sample. Just double entendre. Consume either a handful of Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, a bag of chips fried in Olestra, or a tin of Icebreakers mints. Be sure to wear long rubber gloves when holding the collection jar. Another person said eat it so you can poop it out again later in the same day. You've got get a job at the poop testing lab.
No, also like ask work if you can come in late,
and go to the doctor before, right?
Yeah.
Or if they're like kind of poop shy and it has to be at work, can they come to work and leave and deliver this and come back?
Or if they're poop shy, stay home a little extra long. drop a deuce, take it to the collection, the donation center, the charity, drop it off at Goodwill, the poop drive, the poop bank, and then go to work. So those are ways I would handle it as an adult. I'm 30 now, so I'm an adult.
Yeah, I would simply hold it. Problem solved.
Like in your hand?
Yes. Next question.
Sure.
Also on crappy advice. I do not feel comfortable reading any of the comments under this. I did not screen it incredibly well before I picked it. I just thought it was absurd.
Great.
It's from 14 years ago. My girlfriend is complaining that I don't send her flowers or candy. What is the best way to tell her that I don't even send that stuff to my wife?
I think you start with that. You just text that.
Yep, that's it. I just thought that was absurd. And I know it's Reddit, so it's probably just someone trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
Because I bet 75 to 80% of the stories on Reddit are just people trying to like get reactions.
I feel like, well, he's like, if the idea is like, I don't even do that for my wife. Like, this guy's trying to get out of giving this lady flowers and stuff. Like, just say it. Like, just own it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to get out of getting her flowers unless you break up. And that is a good way.
So I have 3-ish more posts.
Real quick.
Yes.
I'm looking at a stool collection chart, and one of the tests is called occult blood, stool. And I'm curious what occult blood entails. Like, this is the poop for the sacrifice.
Yeah.
This is the poop that makes sure we get good rain this year. But that's all I have for you.
On how some of these you store at room temperature. Yeah, like the occult blood one. Room temperature 14.
Oh, it's probably like, is it occult like OCCULT or CULT?
Yeah. Occult.
Never mind. I was thinking like, blood cultures. Never mind.
Occult blood refers to hidden blood in the stool, undetectable by the naked eye.
Oh, sneaky blood. Okay.
Sneaky blood.
Sneaky blood. So this next post is r/legal advice. We are all qualified for this one.
Yeah.
My neighbors entrusted me with looking after their pets and house for 3 weeks. It has been almost a year and they haven't come back.
To the house?
To the house.
Wild.
Today their basement flooded and I have no idea what to do. In June 2019, my neighbors came to my door. I had some experiences with them. They invited us to barbecue not long after they moved in. They asked my wife and I if we would look after their pets and their house for the next 3 weeks, as they needed to return to Taiwan as his mother was dying. They even left me $500 for food for their German shepherds and their cat. I don't know what happened to them, but they just never came back. I don't know if they ended up in some sort of prison or decided to just not come home at all. Today I found out their basement had flooded, probably sometime within the last week. Apparently a pipe burst, but the entire basement is completely out of luck. I paid for half the leak fixed, and I spent all of today using my shop vac to drain their basement to the best of my abilities. Between this and one of the dogs needing surgery, I have spent several $1,000s of my own money, and frankly, the damage to the basement was awful. I don't have their insurance paperwork, and I don't really know if I can even do a claim for them. On top of this, his 2 giant German shepherds, while they are amazingly good boys, it is becoming almost too much for us to handle. Their last name is extremely common and their Facebook profiles are private, which gives me very little avenue to tackle this down. The timeline is that on June 7th, they asked to look at their pets while they were heading away for 3 weeks. July 1st, they sent me an email saying they needed some additional time to handle his father's affairs. Oh, that changed. It was originally mother. He apologized and said he would be back by July 15th at the latest. July 21st, sent him an email asking what was going on, explained how we were going on vacation in August. Never got a response. July 1st, tried calling on cell phone, no longer in service. August 14th, went on vacation. My brother looked after the dogs. This has all 4 dogs. Originally, it was 2.
Mm-hmm.
for the next week. September 2nd, emailed again. No, maybe they have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. September 2nd, emailed again, no response. September 3rd, tried to reach them via Facebook, no response. September 6th, ended up moving his dogs and cats into our house. November 19th, one of his dogs started showing signs of being ill, brought him up to the vet, had a medium severity case of IVDD. He ended up requiring surgery, which we paid for. January 21st, sent another email and never got a response. Today, which I assume is in February, when I was bringing his mail in the house, I noticed it smelled pretty bad, and I discovered the basement had a foot of water in it. Questions. What is my level of responsibility in this? I agree to look after it for a few weeks, like a couple of months at the most. It has been about a year. Is there anything I can do?
Okay, so legal advice, got nothing for you. Other advice, you got squatters' rights, my dude. That's your house now. Like you can claim that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think it's your house. They're your dogs. Yeah, yeah. I'm curious what happens when, like say they died in Taiwan. I'm genuinely curious like what happens. And I assume like if they have a will then like that's followed or whatever. But if they don't, like whose house is that now? Probably the bank's.
It's probably in the mortgage.
Yeah. Squatters' rights though.
Update.
My legal advice is to find a lawyer and ask them questions.
That's the thing is like people could easily pose as a lawyer on here and give really bad advice. It's great. Update though.
Gage is like, people could do that hypothetically. I don't know about that though.
I would never. Good news. I followed everyone's advice and reached out to the police and the embassy, explained the situation and gave them a bunch of information. Today I got a phone call from the couple explaining that they had just decided to stay much longer and spend time with family and friends. They apparently asked his wife's brother to come and get the animals and start taking care of the house back in August, but he never followed up on it. He apologized and said he was sorry and gave me 2 options. He asked if I wanted to keep his pets since I've had them for so long, or if I wanted him to really push his not stepbrother. It says stepbrother, but it should be brother-in-law to get the animals. Apparently, the animals don't really mean anything to him or his wife, which is weird. He apparently can no longer access his email either and passed me along a new email address and phone number so I can contact him, but told me that he doesn't have plans to return anytime soon. I mentioned the water damage, and he just said that they can buy a new house or get it fixed when they get back. He was also pretty confused and a little bit annoyed about the lengths we went to get in touch with him. He didn't understand why we reached out to the embassy. He then offered to send me some money to square away the inconveniences, but that was more or less it. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. However, I'm a little bit upset about how little they care about their dogs.
I will say, like, as someone who has experienced other cultures, it's definitely common in other places. I don't know about Taiwan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like it's common in other places for like people to have dogs, and like you have dogs for a purpose. Like you've got dogs because they'll scare people away, and like you feed them, and so as much as like you feed them and they protect you, like you like them, but like the relationship isn't more than I feed you, you bark at strangers, and that's pretty common elsewhere.
That's fair. But yeah, that's the update of the story.
Okay. Wild. Did it, so it didn't say how they decided to move forward?
It says they ended up keeping the dogs, and
Okay.
they were no longer in control of the house.
Good.
So
great.
Yeah, and they got paid. Like the guy ended up sending them money to take care of the inconveniences they had to deal with. So
yeah,
that's
great.
good.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like when it said that he left them with $500 for food, I'm like these guys
That's
intended to be
weeks.
gone more than 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. German Shepherds eat a lot, and they could have been like fancy food. I don't know.
That's true.
It was also pre-2020 though, so
yeah. Woody's not full German Shepherd. He's like half-size, but he's a big dog.
But we buy like a 30-pound bag of dog food that costs us maybe $40.
Yeah, maybe 45.
Maybe every month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
That's fair. I also just thought about this. This post was made 6 years ago. So, like,
Could they travel back?
if I'm reading
been
it
stuck.
right, the January and February, yeah, it was January of 2020 and February of 2020 was
And
the
they're
year
like right
afterward.
by China.
Yeah. So that actually, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you guys know the subreddit TIFU?
Yeah, today I messed up.
Yeah, today I messed up. These are both doozies. Today I messed up by making my dad punch a stripper in GTA and tearfully asked God for forgiveness in front of my entire family.
Is there a story?
Yeah, there's a story. Both of
Okay.
these have stories.
Good.
I was encouraged to post this here from a comment I made elsewhere, even though it didn't happen today or even this decade. So mods, please remove if it goes against the rules. Yada, yada, yada. When I was young, my brothers and I snuck a copy of San Andreas into the house. We spent days holed up in our basement taking turns playing, and down there my parents didn't bother us too much. In order to get tons of money for guns, we had yet to figure out my parents' dial-up password, so cheats weren't a thing for us. We would go to the strip club and stand on the stage, absorbing the money that dudes would throw at the women, and just let the game sit for 10 to 20 minutes. We had to be careful, though, because sometimes they would do a move and bump into CJ, and then the bouncers would shoot the place up. One day, when I was playing, my mom yelled down to the basement at us to get ready. We were going to Pizza Hut. In a stroke of genius, I drove to the strip club, got on the stage, and then turned the TV off, and we left. It was the best heist of the century. My dad, however, was at church at this time, practicing for a gospel concert he was singing in. He always filmed the practices so he could take notes at home upon playback, and this time was no different. While my mom and brothers and I were still at Pizza Hut, he arrives at home and unplugs his camcorder and plugs his camcorder into the VCR, and it was connected to the basement TV. Back at Pizza Hut, my mom gets a phone call. She puts her napkin down and slowly looks around the table at us boys and says, "Okay," a few times into the phone in this really calculating, specific way that she always did when she knew that we were in trouble. Naturally, it was at this point that we knew we were in trouble. For what, though, we had no clue. After a very quiet minivan ride, we got home and my mom says, "Boys, why don't we go down to the basement? Your dad wants to show you his gospel practice downstairs." It was at this point that we knew why we were in trouble. So we drag our feet down the stairs, and lo and behold, my dad is sitting on the couch, TV on. A stripper's polygonal bits swung stiffly back and forth on screen to En Vogue's My Lovin', with CJ standing mere inches away collecting money. My dad starts in, "Boys, I don't even know where to begin. This PlayStation was a blessing to you for Christmas, and this is how you repay us? By breaking our trust?" He's holding the controller up now, gesticulating with it. Here I am, practicing to bring glory to God, but then he was cut off as he inadvertently squeezed the controller, causing CJ to punch the stripper.
He pushed circle, is what he did. He pushed circle.
My entire family stands in silence, watching together as the bouncers and the strip club shoot the place up for what seems like an eternity. After the shooting stops and CJ appears in front of the hospital, I look back and see my mom silently weeping into her hands. I look at my dad and a single tear rolls down his cheek and he prays under his breath. After another eternity of silence, without a word, my dad bends down, disconnects the PlayStation, walks back to the family computer, disconnects it, goes to his car, and drives away. For the next 4 months, he kept the PlayStation and the PC locked in his office at work. It's one of my favorite memories from growing up. I miss my brothers.
Man.
Edit. My brothers are not dead. We just live far away from each other.
Takes me back.
Edit 3. I skipped one of the others. Edit 3. I'm being really nice to you guys, but you're all atheist weirdos who keep calling this religious trauma, and you're wrong.
Oh man,
But
it is wild. Like I don't play Grand Theft Auto nowadays, and I think that there are ways to engage with like Grand Theft Auto that isn't necessarily wrong. That isn't worse than like watching a crime movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it is wild to think back to the fact that like I for my 10th birthday I got a PC copy of San Andreas. Like given to me by my mother. And it's crazy to think back like to just how comfortable like everyone was to like let screens raise their kids. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole thought. I don't know that I ever stood and collected that money, but yeah, one of the best video games of all time.
I mean, genuinely, when I was a kid, like I would play it, but all I would do is see how fast I could get going on a motorcycle until I hit a wall inevitably or something else.
I preferred the violence. Yeah, I would just like kill people and stuff.
There was a specific, like a sniper rifle that you could find that was on top of one building, and Connor and I would take turns hiding up there because it had an awning that would protect you from the helicopters.
Uh-huh.
And the NPCs couldn't jump up there. And so Connor and I would just sit there and wait for the heat to die down, and then we would go back to sniping people. That was a
Good
time.
times. Yeah.
I have one more TIFU, and then
Okay.
one really short one, another Ask Reddit, for the conclusion. Today I messed up by thinking divorce was an April Fool's joke. Let me preface this by blaming all of you, the entirety of Reddit, for desensitizing me and giving me major trust issues on April Fool's Day. So here it goes. Yesterday I got a group text from my wife's side of the family stating there was an emergency family meeting happening that night over dinner at my mother-in-law's house. I immediately had April Fool's spidey senses starting to tingle. But we haven't all gotten together since Christmas, so I overlooked it and said we were in, my wife and I. We were the last to arrive, and it was pretty somber when we walked in. We all sat down at the table, and my wife's brother, Tim, informed the family that his wife, Ashley, had been having an affair and they were divorcing. The affair was with a longtime close family friend who lived a block away. This other guy's wife caught them, and when she came home early one day last week, broke the news to my brother-in-law, Tim. Both families have been friends for years. They live less than a block away from each other. They each have been married for 15 plus years, have 4 kids right around the same age. Honestly, I've always thought both of them were picture-perfect families. Heck, all 4 of them and their kids were at our house 2 weeks ago for a barbecue. Anyway, after airing out a lot of dirty laundry and their plans to divorce, how it would affect the future family functions, and opening it up to the group for any questions, there was silence. I broke the silence with laughter and a slow clap, saying that this was the best April Fool's joke I've ever seen, but I wasn't falling for it. I told Ashley and especially Tim that they need to consider going into theater. Their performances were top-notch and their tears seemed genuine. Being the newest member of the family, my wife and I were married 6 months ago. This was probably not the best thing to say in hindsight. I probably shouldn't have said anything. Everyone in the room looked horrified.
Sorry, these are his in-laws?
Yes, these are his in-laws.
Okay.
Everyone in the room looked horrified. My mother-in-law, who had been crying the entire time, lost all composure. She left the room in hysterics and didn't return before we left. Tim just shook his head, and his cheating wife actually let out a brief chuckle before calling me out for being an idiot and thinking it was a ruse. Then berated me for being so insensitive. The rest of the family sat in silence, shaking their heads, as my wife also berated me for trying to make a joke out of a serious situation. I'm still dumbfounded. In hindsight, I probably should have sat in silence, but I honestly still feel like I was calling out an April Fool's gag.
Okay, so I have been watching From because you suggested it, and yeah, it's better than anime. I watched a couple episodes, but I'm using some guilt-free money to get MGM Plus for a month to try to watch it because I love you, Gage. But I just finished episode 3, season 1, episode 3, which has the guy,
the
Jade.
tech bro.
Yeah, that's like, this is all a great joke, wonderful escape room. And so I was reminded of that. But yeah, I feel like I feel like their in-laws are weird. Like, not like...
Just like being one and how you interact with the
Yeah,
family.
and like being the newcomer is weird. There was a time I was dating a person, and it was kind of I can't remember if I've told you the story before or not. So that's helpful. It's not her. I was dating a person, and my family took a trip to Branson, and so we brought her along, and we're all on this trip to Branson, and we're talking about where to go, and I'm like trying to convince this girl that we're not poor and like we're like cool and stuff. So I'm like, we should go to Olive Garden, and my parents are thinking McDonald's and stuff, but I was like, no, we could do Olive Garden. And then she thinks that what's best is to speak up and say, come on, guys, like, we should go to Olive Garden. Like, we don't have that in Fort Scott. Like, we should, like, since we're here, we should go to Olive Garden. And in that moment, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're not in the room right now. Like, you don't exist in this moment. Why are you talking? And then my dad immediately says, we're going to McDonald's. And then we ended up going to Olive Garden because I think he felt bad that he had just like responded harshly to like a 17-year-old girl. But I'm also like, and I feel like just like I feel like there are different levels of interaction with like in-laws or your person's parents. And I feel like I'm like, whatever they're doing, I'm not going to offer any input whatsoever is my general stance. And like that's just how I approach like most relationships with people that I like
if you're on the outside.
Yeah, like I'm not going to offer anything. But there are some people that enter relationships and they're like, I got you guys. Like I'm here to offer like yeah. So I feel like my general stance is like I'm not in the room, and it's wild to me that there are people who feel like they are.
It was, as far as like the couple telling everyone about this, April Fool's was really bad timing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have a youth pastor, one of my youth pastors growing up. He had a tradition of like really going all out for April Fool's jokes with his parents. And like he's in another town, so he would just call them with like bad news. Like, I got arrested. This is my call from jail.
Was it Devin?
No.
Interesting.
No. Darren.
Okay. Interesting.
Or I got my girlfriend pregnant. Something crazy that's gonna make them freak out. And his mom fell for it every single year. And so this one April Fool's Day, his dad talks to his mom and he's like, okay, it's April Fool's. Darren is going to call you and he is going to tell you something crazy today. It's a joke. It's not real. Like, do not fall for his joke this year. But what happened that year is that Darren actually eloped, like in real life, to his current wife. They're great. I'm really happy that they happened to have this like April Fool's Day elopement, but they like actually in real life elope and then call his mom and say, hey.
That's so good.
And she's like, no, your dad told me this is a joke. Ha ha. And like, and then we have like Darren and his new wife like crying on the phone like, no, this is real. Believe us. So I think with big life things that then you need to have a little bit of awareness.
That's true.
Yeah.
That like your audience might think it's a joke.
Well, so I've told DJ this. I don't know if you would know much about them at all, but there's these two members of the Smosh cast named Shane and Courtney, and they got married a little over a year ago, maybe longer. I forget how long I've been in Hernando at this point. 2 years ago, I guess. On April Fool's Day, they posted it. They got married before April Fool's Day, but they posted it on April 1st. And so everyone on the internet was like speculating about it, like they're probably just playing into the joke because everyone who watches their content ships them. And then on April 2nd, Courtney posted a picture of them on Instagram kissing with their wedding rings that said Happy April 2nd. And that's when everyone realized it was real.
That's fun.
So like that was fun. We do have some edits by him.
Right.
Edit 1. Wow, this blew up. Thank you. Edit 2. I don't think I'll be posting the Nest video of this anymore. Because apparently he was planning on posting the Nest video, like the doorbell camera. This blew up.
So good.
He was like, this blew up, and I just got multiple texts from my wife telling me that I messed up even more by posting it. because it was on the front page of Reddit and I didn't change anyone's names. Edit 3. Okay, it's been fun, everyone. I may see you all again next week with this by making a time about how today I messed up by getting divorced because of a divorce.
Oof.
Edit 4. This post is getting deleted. It's been fun. Just got home from work. Wife is upset. Edit 5. Final edit. Never mind. This may be a bad decision and a series of bad decisions, but my wife said to leave it up because it further shows her family, who is also on Reddit, how big of an idiot I am. Thanks to everyone who said I'm not the jerk. I may have autism, but I'm not a butthole. Edit 6. Once again, I was wrong. Give me a couple days and I'm going to release the video. I don't have the evidence of this video.
Okay. Sad day.
Otherwise, we would definitely be watching it.
Yeah.
Top comment in reference to the sister, I guess ex-sister-in-law. I'm insensitive, but you've been sleeping with the neighbor.
Wild.
So that's that post. I just thought that one was wild. And we're ending on a Reddit classic for Ask Reddit. I would be surprised if neither of you has ever heard this one.
I bet I have, but Angela has not.
Not on Reddit.
Does
except for the things that on Facebook that I happen to see.
Does it involve cylinders?
Yes.
Good. I'll be curious to hear Angela's thoughts on this.
How would you get a small cylinder about 5.1 inches in length and 4.5 inches in girth unstuck from a mini M&M's tube filled with butter and microwaved mashed banana?
What's your initial thought, Angela?
Just why it happened.
What happened? It's a cylinder.
It's a cylinder.
Yep. Just why did it happen?
Man.
The banana? Like
why did you put food stuff in there?
Yeah. The butter, I think, was after the stuckness. But the banana, like the mashed banana, is the part that's really tripping me up.
So apparently this post is only a few years old. Like, I thought it was like a decade old or something. This is from 3 years ago.
Nice. Read us some comments, Gage.
Yeah. Comment. You need to get some air in there to release the pressure. I would advise using a high-powered drill to drill a hole in the bottom of the container. This will allow air to enter. The larger the drill bit, the better. He responds, I can't risk power tools damaging the interior cylinder. Comment. That's no small cylinder. It sounds like a perfectly adequate cylinder to me. He responds, yes, thank you. That's the part of the problem.
Oh, man.
Comment.
Post.
Hospital.
Yep.
That's all it says.
It's a cylinder.
Let me find it. I know there are some other ones.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer, so your best bet there is to use pressure. Imagine the piston in an engine. When pressure builds up combustion inside of a cylinder, it pushes the piston out. Pistons never get stuck in the top dead center position. You need to poke a hole in the end of the M&M tube and inject some accelerant. Nail polish remover will be perfect. Then simply add fire near the hole, and boom, the cylinder and tube will no longer be stuck together. Response: nail polish remover's high vapor pressure might cause discomfort by drying the external layer of the cylinders out. Perhaps a hot bath is in order. Yes, that might help me clear my head. Cut the tube. I don't want to risk a blade coming into contact to the cylinder. How about squeezing the tube over and over so that it cracks from fatigue? The interior cylinder would be made very uncomfortable by that. And there's so many more.
It's probably the best Reddit post of all time. It's so dumb.
It's like gotta be a troll, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
But I've seen other posts that this person has commented on, and gosh, I don't remember it now. But there was another post about something else, and he responded to, okay, it's a weird post, but like somebody on Ask Reddit was like, for a boy, like, I'll probably cut this part, but he's like, for a boy, what does sex feel like? And this guy specifically responded, it's like a warm hug on your whole body, or something like that. Something. And then someone responded, don't you mean your cylinder?
Man. Good old cylinder guy.
Good old cylinder guy. His Reddit name, if you ever need it, is smart_calendar 1874. I
Okay,
repeat,
misspelled
smart.
cylinder.
What?
He misspelled cylinder.
But yeah, that has been Reddit posts.
Great.
I have no more.
We're a real podcast now.
Yeah, we've officially done our Reddit episode.
We've done true crime. We've done Reddit. We've done episodes about like kind of nothing at all.
We've done
deep
D&D.
dives. Done D&D.
I mean,
like,
not
what else is
technically,
there?
but I don't know. Like, what other kind of
We've done
podcast content's
history.
out there? Yeah, we've done history.
We've done theology.
We've interviewed people. Musicians. A theologian.
Hey guys, so welcome to the last episode of Everything But the Cats. We've done everything.
We've officially done it all.
Yeah. From now on, we're just beating a dead horse.
Join us next week as we beat a dead horse.
It's a real treat for you audio-only listeners.
If it prevents from... No? If this would stop the beating a dead horse, you haven't done like the specific podcast that I listen to is two moms who are Christians who talk about discipling their children. So like a mom podcast, I don't think you guys have been.
We should do a mom podcast sometime.
We need to have our moms on.
That would be a lot of fun.
Unrelated, we have not technically done an audio drama yet.
Ooh, that's true. We've got 2 microphones. We haven't recorded ourselves singing Imagine by John Lennon to bring the world together during a difficult time.
In our millions and millions of dollars mansions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's so wild to think back to COVID.
Well, the thing that's crazy to me is so many people got in on that. And I'm like, yeah, so you're looking at people who are fearing for their lives and you're saying, imagine this is all there is, man. This is all you have. There's no heaven. Imagine.
Think about
and that's how we're going to make you feel better.
And we're going to sound terrible while doing so. Man, I feel like Gal Gadot wasn't seen as super cringy yet.
Yeah, I think that was the tipping point.
And that didn't help. Yeah.
Yeah. Because everyone loved the first Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great movie.
Halal, no.
What was it? Something else. I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, John Lennon. He was pretentious.
Yeah.
That's it.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Like we said, this has been the Reddit episode. We've officially done everything except for a mom's podcast. We also haven't done a dad's podcast. Yeah. Okay, we've not done everything. There's more to do still. So you'll see us next week when we keep trying to do more. Like I said earlier, I'm DJ. That's my buddy Gage. And then we didn't ever introduce... This is my girlfriend. Don't tell my wife. I'm not trying to buy 2 things of flowers here. No, this is my wife, Angela. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Adam Ward and Jared Scrother for our intro and outro music. Thanks to Jacob Casey for kind of sprinkling music throughout our podcast on occasion. Yeah, thanks to really everyone that's been with us on the way. Thanks, Angela, for showing up. I knew you would like to participate in this episode. Thanks, Gage, for being Gage. Gage does everything for the podcast. I do nothing compared to what Gage does. So, hugely appreciate Gage and the work that he does, the extra work that he does. Yeah, is there a huge shout out to Orange Cat Always. We used to be an affiliate for them.
Yeah.
I looked them up today. They have like 17,000 followers on Facebook. Huge shout out. We appreciate you. Anyways, as always, thank you guys. And if our thanks aren't sufficient, then what can they do, Angela?
You can say it. It's your line.
They can go thank themselves. So, adios. See you guys.